Hi, everybody. This is James,
Marco,
Nabil,
and Mikey.
and this is the Movie Pals podcast 217. And today we are going to be reviewing the new Sam Raimi film, Send Help. Let's get into it.
I'm going to be frank with you. You are smart. I know that you are great with numbers, but I just don't think you got it. As an executive, I see no value in you. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry, what?
You know we have the Bangkok merger coming up. Prove me wrong. Oh, Linda, before you go, I forgot to mention I've received a few complaints about you.
Complaints?
Noxious odors.
Send Help. It's currently sitting at a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. The synopsis goes, an employee and her insufferable boss become stranded on a deserted island, the only survivors of a plane crash. Here, they must overcome past grievances and work together to survive. Will they make it out alive? Who knows? We'll tell you when we tell you the review of the movie.
Perhaps.
So,
Maybe we
perhaps.
won't. Yeah.
So this film was directed by Sam Raimi. You guys might remember him from some of the great films that he's done, such as the original Spider-Man series from 2002 to 2007. He also did the horror film Drag Me to Hell, as well as the great Darkman film and the Evil Dead series, the original ones with from the 80s. He's got an eclectic taste of film that he's put together. It's also been written by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift, who did the Freddy vs. Jason series. So, you know, those are great. Friday the 13th from 2009, and also the Baywatch film in 2017. So also all classic films that we all watch over and over again.
I mean, I've seen... I know
Freddy-
Nabil's joking, but I generally think that Friday the 13th reboot was pretty solid.
The reboot was good.
Absolutely.
Freddy vs. Jason, it was all right. It was funny.
Pretty Jason for the time is okay. And then honestly, Baywatch is pretty funny.
that's what I've heard.
I don't know about Baywatch. But this film was released on January 30th of this year. So it's currently sitting in theaters. So please go out and see it if you haven't already. But the film stars Rachel McAdams, who plays Linda Little. Dylan O'Brien plays Bradley Preston. Edel Ismail plays Zuri. And Xavier Samuel plays Donovan. Let's get into some quick impressions and get some thoughts about the movie. First, let's talk about what the expectations were. And I'm going to go to you, James, because I know you're a big Sam Raimi fan. What was your expectations going into the movie?
Yeah, I've actually seen all of his movies, which is pretty cool. Pretty high, because it's been a while. I think the last Sam Raimi film we got was the Doctor Strange movie, Multiverse of Madness, I want to say. So, and I wasn't a huge fan of that one, so it was nice. I mean, obviously, he liked Rachel McAdams enough from that movie that he obviously wanted to put her in this movie, so that's kind of cool.
And I think Drag Me to Hell was his last non-franchise film, like big epic film.
I think so. This is his first rated R film in like 25 years, though, too.
Yeah,
On top of
it's
that, by
been
the
a
way,
minute.
which is cool. But no, I was looking forward to it. I thought I was, especially in the last week or two, there's a lot of early buzz that it was actually really good. So yeah, coming into it, I had pretty high expectations just because, like I said, I really enjoy Sam Raimi. It's always like you're kind of wary on those January releases, of course, because this is usually where
'cause you
movies
kinda
go to
dump it
go
there.
to die. But overall, I had a lot of fun. I saw it with Mikey. We saw it in 3D. It was
Very
actually really fun. I thought it was a really entertaining kind of... it wasn't so much horror for this one for me. It was more of kind of a thriller, I guess. But there are some aspects of it. And it has such a Sam Raimi flair to it all. I really
I was
enjoyed
thinking
it.
to say that was exactly what I was going to say. It has its own kind of
There's a lot
twist
of
on it that adds
I
on
guess
to
if
that
you're
horror
not
element.
familiar with a lot of his movies, you might be like, it was really cheesy at times. Like, no. He's doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
Trust me. He likes this shit. Trust me. That's on purpose. Relax. Why is there a ghoul? I don't know. Just because. Yeah, but overall, I had a lot of fun.
Great. Mikey, since you saw it with James, what was your expectation going in, and did you like the film overall?
Yeah, I kind of echo much of what he said here. I mean, I liked the going into it. I liked what I saw as far as the trailers go. I thought the guy was kind of annoying, but you could tell it's kind of done on purpose. So I was like, okay, what's going to have this kind of vibe just kind of filled throughout the whole movie? And I was kind of expecting a pretty good movie. And I had a lot of fun with this one. That's what I'll say. It's just got a lot of elements, like James was saying. It's more of a thriller than it is a horror movie, but there's some horror elements in there. There's some comedy. Just overall, it was just a fun watch. And watching these two, they have a lot of charisma together. I think the two main actors. So it just made for just an overall great experience. I liked what I saw.
All right. How about you, Marco? What were your thoughts?
My expectations were kind of mid, not in a bad way. I just, like James had mentioned, the previous Sam Raimi movie was Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. So wasn't really sure if that was really studio interference or really Raimi losing his touch, but the trailer kind of sold it for me. And I was like pretty intrigued because it felt kind of like a Castaway type movie with like horror thriller elements mixed into it. But I enjoyed it, man. I thought it was good. A lot of what these guys were saying, I thought Rachel McAdams was great in it. She did a good job playing kind of like a meek character with something hidden behind.
She's frumpy.
Yeah, she's very frumpy, and she played it off pretty well because I mean Rachel McAdams is very easy on the eyes, and I thought she did a pretty good job playing just kind of like someone that's not really well put together. And I thought
she owns a bird.
Yeah,
it's a cute bird. It was a cute bird.
I was like,
Dylan O'Brien
pretty bird.
played a pretty good douchebag. I thought he did. They like Mikey said, they played well off each other, and it had the Raimi elements in there, which I was not expecting at first. I was like, is he kind of go more like for a straight shooter type thing in this one? But no, he had his little Raimi moments that I think helped sell the movie for me even more.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I kind of echo a lot of what you guys are saying as well. I think for me, I was excited that it was a Sam Raimi film that was not a franchise film, or some kind of big thing. Yeah. So I was like, okay, he's just going to do what he wants to do. And I like that Sam Raimi more so. And I think the plot, though, going into seeing the trailer, looked like it was going to be pretty thin, Stranded Island kind of thing. And they're just going to try to ham up things. And so that kind of going into the plot, that's what it ended up being, to be honest. At least for me, I felt like it was more by the numbers as far as what the plot was concerned. Two people stranded. How things escalate is very thriller, to some extent even horror-esque, but mostly thriller-esque, with tropes by Sam Raimi about like, some of the violence in there, and then the comedy thrown into it, and the writing was sharp. So like there was some good aspects of it that made it unique. But I think the plot from A to B, if you really look at it, it's a very simple story. Like they go into they work together. Terrible boss gets stuck on an island, and then things happen. But like the story doesn't really move forward. It's just really this relationship, which isn't a bad thing. But I was thinking it was going to be like a twist like that M. Night film, Old, where you're like,
he's trying to do something different. Twist to this.
There's a little bit,
yeah.
A little bit, especially near the end. But it also like, how far did you really see it coming? Like, I think most of us maybe already saw, like, I know what's going on over here. So I thought the plot was a little thin, but Sam Raimi, the style of Sam Raimi is in this film, and you see it throughout, like the shooting of this with the cinematography, again the comedy, and Rachel McAdams really holds her own throughout this whole film. Like she is I think if this was poorly cast, you couldn't get what he was trying to portray on screen.
No, hell no.
Given by the director, so
agreed.
Yeah. Rachel McAdams makes a difference.
The two leads are really what holds the movie together, and that's what I think. Even though like simplified plot, two people that don't like each other stuck in an island, what could happen, right?
Right.
There's a little bit more layers to that where like it's almost like, well, one of them finally kind of starts getting their revenge on the other one and doesn't really want to leave in a way,
Yeah.
It starts to blend elements of the movie Misery in for a little bit. Got
a little bit to a point.
A
little bit. Like I got some of that vibe, yeah. But it's definitely, if it wasn't well acted, then it would definitely stick out more. I think, man, I'm telling you, I really like Dylan O'Brien, man. I've liked him for a lot of stuff. Last year he was in a movie called Twinless that I thought was really well done, and like ever since like even the Maze Runner, and then that movie Assassin with Michael Keaton. Fuck, it's good.
That's good.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a good one. So yeah.
So Mikey, let me get your take on it. What did you think about the plot overall? I know we kind of all shared a little bit about our thoughts, but what worked for you? What maybe didn't work?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The plot's pretty thin. Right? It's pretty basic overall, but it's really what kind of draws you in and what keeps you in the movie is the power dynamic, right? They're both trying to be the boss of the other one. And the setting has changed, but they're both like kind of coming in and saying, okay, we should do this. And the other one's thinking, hey, we should do this. And it's really that dynamic of like, hey, who's going to win in the end about what they actually go do. One wants to stay on the island a little bit longer than normal, or even potentially, let's stay there forever. And the other one's trying to say, we should screw all this stuff and let's get off the island as soon as we can. Let's build a raft, get out of here. And really those point of views are completely opposites from each other. And it's really just that kind of characteristics between the two characters that kind of clash, and that's what kind of keeps you there. They have like a bunch of scenes where they're kind of folding to the other one, or maybe making a decision to like leave the camp for a little while, and it's really either funny or horror aspects that those kind of scenes kind of bring in, and it just keeps you engaged throughout the whole movie. Yes, not a lot is happening to move a story forward, but you are getting a lot of character development. And I think, like you guys were mentioning, it kind of just keeps you in it. It kind of just works instead of having a complex story.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. I think that if you really look at the motivations of the characters, that's what brings the interesting like mystery to it all, because you don't really know what, like going into Linda specifically, you don't really know. You know that she's a survivalist, or at least has learned to try to study a lot on this stuff, and now she's in her element. So you kind of understand why she doesn't want to leave, because she feels like she's finally found her place. Like this is my thing that I've been building up to.
I mean, maybe I think it's just because she finally is in a, not just because of the survivalist aspect, but it's like she finally has power over somebody, where she's always wanted that, because she gets passed over for the promotion that was rightfully hers.
Yeah.
And then she feels like she's like trying to prove herself, and then obviously is made fun of even more, which I thought was hilarious. So they just pulled that up in the plane. That's some shit in front of her face. I was like, that's probably some shit I would do. Like, check this shit out. She's 10 feet away. I don't give a fuck. And then
it's a mix of both.
Why, so
really, it's both. She's in her element because we see earlier in the movie she has all these survival books and stuff, and all these herbal medicine books and stuff, so she knows how to survive in the wild. So she's in her element, and she's an adventurist, on her own. And also the power play aspect. It's all switched. Now she's on top of the food chain, and everyone else is below her because she's top dog now. And that power like starts to corrupt her as well too. And she starts to, in a way, become, the monsters and bullies that she was, sort of had issues with in her real world.
And it's kind of like the question is like, but does she really have an issue with it though?
Yeah.
So
I think it's more or less there's a conversation that the two of them have where they talk about like, why Bradley's such an asshole, and he starts to talk a little bit about his family history and how like it wasn't that great. and she says, something that it's not really like his fault, that he's like that. And it kind of shows like monsters are created. They're not always born. They're created. And it's sort of like a cyclical thing because of his past. He's going to continue that trend. And now that's passed onto Linda because she suffered the abuses of these assholes. And now she's slowly turning into a monster.
Turning into a monster, yeah. Because the quote she says is like, "Oh, so it's not your fault you became a monster." So.
Right.
Did you notice who his dad was?
Yeah. Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, it's Bruce Campbell.
Great.
And did you see the car in the parking lot?
I did not see the car. I was looking.
So when she's crying in the car's behind her.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Point out to Mike.
I was looking for it too. I was like, where
I said, "There's that big yellow son of a bitch."
Yeah, I like the callbacks he did because there was a few of them, like the whole like zombie-ish kind of character that's in it. So.
We'll see. Even the hand coming out of the thing.
Yeah.
Very Evil Dead like. Look at this.
Well, obviously we talked about Linda. We've got Bradley in here too. Marco, touching on your point, Bradley, not the best boss. He's a bit of an asshole, and throughout the series of events, Linda is trying to humble him, and I don't think Bradley's really getting it as much as he tries. He also starts, rightfully so, getting a bit suspicious of their situation, but I don't think there was a lot of growth with him, at least initially. What was your thoughts, James, on Bradley's character and like the relationship between what was building between Linda as well with him?
It's well done because it's almost like, I don't know. I guess his is the most topsy-turvy. So like at times it's like he's definitely learning a lesson, but he has to be like proven, or like she has to show him up a couple of times to be like, hey, like you are never the one in charge, really, right? To a point. Because like early on, there's one where like, oh, well, you're being an asshole to me, so guess what? I'm gonna take all the food and water, and then you figure it out since you think it's so easy, right? And then he's damn near like fucking starving to death when she comes back.
Yeah, but he never really learns his lesson though.
Yeah, I never feel like he learned a lesson.
He always comes back with the same shit he's been doing for his whole life.
I will say this much. I think it's because this series of events that start happening, like Nabil said, too. Because, like, I mean, who knows? If they were there longer, maybe something would have happened. But I think it's because there's, like, the chain of events that happen are, like, yes, he starts learning from her, starts listening to her a bit, and he's changed for a little bit. But it also shows that he's still, like, selfish because he even tries to escape at one point, right? And he, I love that part, too, where he's just like, fuck you, Linda. And I was like, nice. Even though his plan doesn't work, and then he comes back, and then, you know, something happens to him, which is horrific to the point. And then that's where he always, I think from that point forward, he will never trust her again, basically, is what I'm getting at. So at that point, it's just like, fuck. Like, he's got to keep his guard up because, like, he sees, like Linda, crazy ass bitch, man.
You know, I felt like it was, you know, we're not going to talk about specifics because of, spoiling anything. But I will say that I felt like she was justified and she still didn't go through with what she, you know, it was more of a threat. But it's like he actually did something to her that could have killed her.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, there is something she does a little bit later that is kind of like...
Yeah, I mean, yes, that was like...
I mean, she also didn't like... Oh, well, I guess we're talking about spoilers.
Again, I think it falls back to the whole power play thing. Like, because she has more power, she tends to do more things that are, you know, very questionable and stuff. And with him, like, it's when he's in a vulnerable position, he's more submissive and he's more like willing to learn and stuff. So basically, when he sees the opportunity to take his power back, he goes for it because it feeds again into that whole theme of power play. And they both equally do terrible things to each other.
I was going to actually bring up, like, honestly, both are like, if you think about it deep down inside, like, not like you wouldn't be kicking it with either one of these people.
Yeah, they both.
Well, maybe Mikey would.
Like, they have growth to a point, but not really. It's all for the sake of that ultimate of that power.
It's by circumstance, sure, yeah. Like they kind of bend to each other's will when they have to, and then try to overtake when.
I mean, I almost thought, I was thinking though, like I was like, is this going to turn to Blue Lagoon? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the two of them, I was like, maybe, but then I was like, never mind. There was a little bit of something, maybe just a friendship now, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't. In the same way that that Bradley is taking advantage of his high points, I feel like she's doing the same thing though. Like, she's over there like watching him try to build his shelter, and she's like weaving a hat and just like loving every second of it. Like, so she's just kind of doing the same thing that he's doing. It's just in a different way.
Just walks in there. He's just fully nude, just watching it. And I was like, I'm not sure why we include this scene.
I was like, why would that be James?
Sneaking peek.
Oh shit! Sorry, I didn't know you were there.
But not really like shying away from it. Just still scrubbing down. It's like, oh well. I don't even have soap. I don't know what I'm even doing. I'm just throwing water on me.
I know. He's washing himself with salt water.
Salt water, like, not the greatest shit to wash yourself with. So he's like, my skin will be dry as hell in a little bit.
Probably burning when he was doing it.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what Sam Raimi is really known for, which is his horror directions. I'm going to go back to you a little bit, James, just to talk more about the history of Sam Raimi and his kind of horror films and this filming style. What did you think about this film? Do you think it lived up to his past solo films, or do you think it's more...
I mean, it's a little different. He definitely, like we talked about, there's a lot of homages. There's even like his famous, like, he loves to do like a camera follow through like the jungle or forest,
the
like
POV shots. He's done a few of those. I like
there's a lot of that. A lot of the imagery was reminiscent of it. It was cool. The gore that was used in it too, when there's not a lot, I would say, but when it does happen, it's pretty gory.
Oh, it gets intense real quick.
Yeah, there's a scene with a hog that's just gross at one point. I was like, good God, you know? I did like that Linda does something near the end where it starts to kind of haunt her as well. So she's kind of starting to like hear things.
Yeah.
That's very reminiscent of a lot of like Sam Raimi horror, where it's just like, oh, there's like a voice, and where's it at? And then, oh, it's right next to you, you know? Stuff like that. So it was different though for this one. This, like you said, this one was still a bit more kind of a straight shot in a way. Like, it's more of a thriller. It's not really true horror. Maybe it's like a psychological thing too, maybe. But
yeah, there's
a really good scene though between Linda and Bradley where after something happens, she gets him into a position where he thinks something's going on, that I thought was really well done, especially the close-up shots.
Yeah, it ramps up like really quickly. Like, you're going through a scene and you know that there's going to be a bit of a violent encounter or something like that, but it goes from 0 to like literally 100 really quickly, and it suddenly
It's pretty intense.
Yeah, there's blood and there's gore and there's like it gets very intense really quickly. But that's kind of his style, It's like if you think about the film like Spider-Man 2, where Doc Ock is getting a surgery done, how violent that gets when the little arms suddenly get in like that. Yeah. You don't expect that to happen. The films have been okay, and then suddenly it's just like
little girl just screaming. Yeah, and her nails are digging into the thing.
Exactly. Like that's kind of what's going on over here. You get the same thing.
Help me harness the power of the sun.
So just to move a little bit onto some other aspects, like the comedy moments, Marco, let's get your take on what you thought about the writing, the humor between them. Did you think that they worked off of each other pretty well? Did you find parts of the film quite funny, or
I think the humor worked, man. Even like we mentioned the scene where they're talking crap about Linda.
He's like, check this shit out. He's like, and they're all like glancing over. I'm like, she's right there, dude. Dude, I laughed a lot in this movie. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Same. The times where she was just annoying him on the island because she was just so chipper and always like having like a positive attitude, and Bradley's just getting pissed off and saying we gotta get the F out of here, really trying to push the sense of urgency, and she's just taking her sweet ass time. Even scenes like when he's trying to get off the island and his plan doesn't work, it's pretty hilarious because like what James mentioned already before, he says "fuck you, Linda."
Yeah, like that. He gives her a fucking face, flips her off,
absolute destroys him. There were even parts on
she's puking on his face when she's
that was good.
She's giving him CPR and just straight vomits.
I was like, this is so fucking nasty.
Even during the plane crash too, there's a scene where a dude is banging on the side of the plane, and it's supposed to be bad, but it's kind of hilarious at the same time. It helped even out the psychological horror aspect of it, because like you guys mentioned, when it gets dark, it gets dark. When it gets violent, it gets violent. So I think it helped kind of alleviate some of those things, especially aspects like the gore from the pig scene. I'm sorry, the wild boar scene. It all worked, and it kept you engaged with the movie, and it really made you interested with these characters because it was all interactions between them for the most part.
Were you guys almost hoping, like, I was like, will they work it out and like become like friends and get off the island?
I was hoping so.
You almost wanted to, and that's almost like but that would have been like such the cliche thing to do for them to.
That's what I was thinking too, Marco. I was like, that's too happy of an ending. This is not going to happen in this movie.
I mean, I think a lot of it came down to timing, right? Because that could have probably happened had what just occurred, and then the scenario that led to the escalating events in the end, didn't happen. There could have been a chance where they could have came out of it as friends, and she would have felt like it's time to leave.
It's almost like their own selfish nature of wanting to get what they wanted prevented them from truly becoming allies.
And I just realized she never actually tells him where that waterfall is, because theoretically, if he went to the waterfall, he would see something.
He'd see something.
So that's why he's taking a bath in the fucking ocean, dude.
Oh
yeah.
He doesn't know where the fresh water is because it's too far away, too. It's like she doesn't bring him to that area.
Yeah, she did do him kind of dirty, didn't she?
Yeah.
Before we go into the reviews, I just wanted to get, because I didn't get the experience of this way. Mikey, I think you and James went to go see the film together in 3D. How did you feel how that viewing experience was for this film? Do you think that was a good use of 3D, or would you have said that it probably would have been fine watching it normally?
No, the 3D looked good. I mean, it was filmed in 3D, so
which is cool.
It kind of worked out.
Was it really? Okay.
So it just basically gave depth to everything that's happening. And they did have a few scenes where they specifically, like, you could tell they did it.
That spear, man,
3D, like the old school style.
I put my hand up. Oh, watch out, man! I said, watch out! You're gonna poke my eye out there, big guy. Relax.
So yeah, it was a good experience overall, and I think a lot of those moments where, like James was saying, it's like, oh, whoa, that's happening. I heard some people doing around us doing the same.
Yeah, there was definitely some jump scares, and I was at least one or two that I thought of, and I was like, I wonder how that played in the 3D.
The hog scene is really cool, and that throw up scene is actually pretty cool too. Just letting you know, as gross as that sounds, but yeah, Sam Raimi really likes 3D. So I don't know if so he shot it with 3D cameras. It's not a conversion either. So and normally those tend to look a lot better, and it's shot really nice. So
very cool. All right. Well, there's a little bit of spoilers that we want to talk about just from a plot perspective to, as they say, double click into. So we're going to give a rating overall before we jump into that. So I'm going to start with you, Marco. What was your rating of the movie?
I give it 3.5 stars. I highly recommend it. When we're living in an era where we're scratching and clawing for originality, I think that this movie is definitely worth it.
Mikey, how about yourself?
I give this one 4 stars. It's definitely recommend. It's fun overall just to watch.
And James?
I gave this one 4 stars. I thought it was really fun. It was, we've been watching a lot of Oscar films and recently, so it was kind of nice just to kind of just have one that was a little less serious.
One for the boys. Yeah.
Yeah, one for the boys. I was like, let me watch the bird lady here, not this one that hates her children. Stuff like that. So I was like, that's cool. That works for me. So it was a nice change of pace, and I had a lot of fun. And like Mikey said, 3D was really cool. So.
Yeah, I gave this 3.5 stars. I think the plot was a little thin, but overall, it was an excellent film. It was funny, and even I was able to get past some of the gore. So that's always a good thing.
It's tastefully done.
It is. It's there where it needs to be. Say that. So we're going to go into spoiler section. Before we do, if you haven't seen the film, I'd go ahead and tell you to skip forward a little bit, watch the film, come back and listen to it. Otherwise, you can listen to our outro and hear what we're going to be reviewing next. All right, so going into spoilers, I think the biggest thing here that we were alluding to was that Linda was holding out on poor Bradley and saying that there was already... Not that going to hold out, James.
I was like, she was. I was like...
she kind of was, but yeah.
Are these two going to do it or not? God damn.
That she found a way off the island, or at least found sanctuary somewhere. And also, she, his fiance showed up and found them, and she kind of maybe killed her by letting her die. Just a little bit. James, I want to just talk to you a little bit more about that. What were your thoughts about how things unfolded near the end? Like with her, specifically, let's start with Zuri, how she passed away, like that whole situation unfolded. What were your thoughts there?
I almost thought for a second, like, because we didn't see it, I was like, maybe she didn't kill her. And she actually tried to help her, and then she fell or some shit. Even though theoretically she knew that little cliff was like pretty shaky to begin with. So, and then the old Asian man obviously was like, just was like a victim. I was like, that kind of sucks. But here's my question: did she bury the body, or did it just get? I think she buried the body too. Though
I think she buried the body.
So like she knew everything.
I think it washed up to shore.
I don't know. It's pretty deep, man. That armor is pretty under there. That would take months.
Well, because they do have that storm. Well, did the storm happen after?
No,
before.
Oh, before. Oh, maybe, yeah. Maybe she
I think she did. I think that's why she's so out of it and exhausted. She just drops off the things, all the fruits, and she's like, there's your dinner.
Was it really buried, though? It could have just been an arm that was like somewhat.
True,
buried.
yeah. Could have just been a severed arm. I mean, he's just staring at it crying. Dylan Bryant's crying this one. Fantastic.
Well, he saw the ring, so.
Yeah, I didn't doubt it, though, just because she had told that story with her husband, and she gave him the keys, and I was like, she's capable of doing it.
I guess,
yeah,
but
the difference is that she actually did it here versus indirectly doing it to her husband. Like,
and plus that guy was being abusive to her and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But again, it has to do with her just not wanting to let go of that power and stuff, and so now it's kind of like that. Like
this
the
is
roles
one
are
way
reversed.
to keep them there. Yeah,
she's the abuser.
Yeah, she's the. Look at me. I'm the captain.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Mikey, what was your thought about the big reveal of the vacation house and the fact that she, a knife didn't magically show up on shore? She stole it from a house. Like, what do you think about that?
That was a nice connection, by the way. Side note there. I like that. I was like, oh, that's where it came from.
Yeah. I think as far as just the vacation house itself, me and James looked at each other like halfway through the movie, like she's telling him not to go over there because there's a house over there.
Thought obviously because she's like, don't go there. You're gonna like. I was like, okay, so something's. I thought. Remember me and Mike were talking like basically. I was like, watch there be a resort right on that other side. I thought that's what it was.
Like a village or something.
There's gonna be hella kids or some shit playing on the beach. Like, who the fuck are these guys? Like, oh.
I watched it with a friend of the pod, Sonny, and he said the same thing. He was like, there's probably a resort on the other side. And I was like, oh, shit, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But it was also interesting, too. Like, she's like having sashimi and stuff. Like on the, did she just grab it from the house? Like she didn't make none of that stuff. She just
No,
found it at the
I
house.
think she
She was making
generally.
it.
I think she generally was catching fish and stuff because they show her
Yeah.
catching a couple fish.
But it's really
Yeah.
interesting though, because like she had many opportunities to, quote unquote, get saved. She doesn't wave down a boat. But yeah, it's really nice to see that that she just didn't take the opportunities that she had to leave the island, and that she could have done that way earlier, even if they had left before she got to the house or whatever. She could have used the house phone, or
They could have
you know,
chilled
I'm
at
sure
the
there's
house for a
something
while.
there
Yeah,
that they could have
call
just
emergency.
they could have just lived in the house until someone got back or anything.
That
like
shows
that.
you
So-
how crazy she really was. Like she
Right.
was willing to like live out there and sleep on the beach, and just to be like, I'm here to prove a point.
But she
Yeah, 'cause-
she became familiar enough with the house to know the whole security system and
yeah.
everything.
She
I was
was
like,
I think
she had to have showered and used the bathroom
I
there.
was
It's like
thinking
there's
the
no
same
way she
thing.
did it, dude. There's no fucking
I
way.
was almost thinking because she knows the camera system really well, and I was like, she's been here a few times, dude. Because she even
Yeah.
said first thing I did was turn off the cameras, and the guy didn't even notice.
So Marco, you touched on this a little bit before, but like the final scene with Bradley, where they're basically Bradley finds the house and is trying to find sanctuary in there, and then realizes that Linda's a psychopath. What did you think about that fight scene and like how things played out in that movie? And
The
then
fight
in the last
scene-
part, yeah.
Was brutal as all hell. I mean, is Sam Raimi at his best? You have Bradley like freaking shoving her eye and stuff, but at the beginning when it starts
Dude, he
off,
scalps her, bro.
That's a
Yeah.
Sam Raimi thing right there, though. That's the scalping, the eye gouging. I was like, that's all him.
yeah, it was intense. It's in a way like you almost don't know who to root for. Like you kind of are rooting for Linda because like you feel bad that she's gone through all this shit and she's finally getting like a quote unquote world that she like wants. And Bradley wants to get home, but I'm just like, but you're an asshole in the real world, you're more humbled here,
I felt less bad for her after she killed Zuri, though. I was like, you know
Me
what? I
too.
wanted to root for her, but then after that, I'm like, no, not as much. And
was
I feel bad for him.
I was like, she killed a random guy that had nothing
Yeah.
to do with this crap, too. So I
and the
was
chick
like,
too, like Zuri had nothing to do with it. She wanted to
Yeah,
save her
kinda.
fiance. Yeah,
kind of. What do you mean?
Yeah.
No, she got 2 bodies on her now,
Yeah.
Marco. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I mean,
Technically
they're
3.
fucking assholes. I mean, we don't know what those other people have done too. Just saying, we don't know what they've
Marco,
done.
shut the fuck
This is
up.
No,
just-
we don't know what they've done, man.
Hey,
if
they're
they're
assholes.
assholes,
You
they
can-
gotta die.
Go ahead,
That's
you can
it.
kill him.
Yeah,
I mean, he was willing to leave her to die. Also, he took the food and left on the raft. He was willing to do that. So he was
'Cause she-
almost.
I almost think because she was hinting that he was getting really suspicious of her that she was hiding
Yeah.
something. That's why.
when they had the drunken
Right.
encounter, she basically said, like, "What if we just like never leave?"
Yeah,
he's
and that's
like,
when he was. That's when he gave her that.
I'm gonna
the
leave it
side
at
eye.
this. I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep it 100. What she did was questionable and was bad, but I did feel bad for those people. I just didn't. No,
That's-
that
I think
was
the
like,
movie
nah.
wants you to feel bad for him at the end.
I think
A
so.
li- maybe a little bit.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did have problems rooting for one of them during the fight, and then for a moment, you maybe think that maybe he's telling the truth when he's like telling her like, oh no, I've changed, but then it's like, no,
There's
No
no
way.
way. He's like, we can live here, and I was like,
After
no.
all they went through, heck no.
No, you're
Yeah.
not. You're gonna stab this bitch in her sleep.
Well, I wonder. So I wonder as we kind of the film is wrapping up, and she basically turns this whole thing into a story, and she becomes very wealthy. My question, I was thinking about like that house was still like destroyed. There would have been evidence of some kind of struggle. Like she didn't just clean that all up. Things were damaged, and there was a dead body there. Like how did you just kind of
You're
move on from
overthinking it.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah.
No, but
Hey,
like, even
hey,
if you
Bill,
don't overthink it,
Hey,
though,
Bill.
right?
let the movie happen.
No, but like she wrote a book or something like that, right? So
Yeah.
it's just her word versus no word, right? So she
Yeah,
can
she
make
could
up
say,
whatever story she
pig
wants. Like maybe
attacked
he was
me.
hunting her down or something like
Yeah.
that, right?
No,
so
no,
she
no.
just did
They,
what she had to.
they remember Mikey at the end. They say like she was the only survivor, so they don't.
Yeah,
they're
she
not
was
even
the only
aware
survivor.
of the other people. So they
That's
think
why
she's
I thought it
only
was
by
odd.
herself.
So like, did she burn down the house?
No,
like,
you
never
could just say she got stabbed by a pig or something, and she's like, "That was me bleeding out for a second." They're like, "Oh yeah, that's crazy."
But to Bill's point, that the rich guy that lived there, nobody was missing that guy.
Oblivious.
Also,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Well, that's what I was kind of thinking about, was that owner would have
Well,
seen something.
She brought it up. She said the guy's gone all the time. Like this is one of his many house vacation homes.
So
like,
maybe just never found out.
Yeah.
Do you think it was deserved, her ending? I'll just leave that open. Like, you guys feel like, you know what? Good for you.
I mean, there's probably someone like, you go, girl. You know what I mean? But I was like, hey, this is the world. Dog eats dog, right?
I think she ends up becoming, what she despised.
But by doing so, she becomes well off. Like she gets the role that she thinks she deserved anyways from the beginning.
That's what
right?
I was going to say. I don't know if it's that she despised it, Marco, because she wanted that. She wanted the VP role. She wanted to get that wealth. She thought she earned it, and so
I think she wanted it, but she became like, when Bradley had that conversation with her, like you don't have it. You don't have the persona to be a VP, and so she knew what she had to become in order to be that person, and that's what she became. That was the price she paid.
Being all introspective with the thoughts. All right, I like it.
I mean, it is funny because like she does start. He's like, you got to be able to light up a room and everything. And at that first point, I'm like, she can't do it. But then at the end, it seems like she's really charming. I'm like, oh, she's basically, she's Rachel McAdams now.
Yeah, she's it's her final transformation.
Yeah. That wraps up episode 217 of the Movie Pals podcast. Marco, let everyone know how they can keep up with us.
You can find us on every major podcast platform, so follow and listen wherever you like. For links to all our socials and more, head over to linktree/moviepalspod. That's linktr.ee/moviepalspod. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you never miss your chance on Survivor.
And check us out on TikTok at MoviePalsPod for sneak peeks, quick takes, and behind-the-scene clips. Also, a reminder to check out our Discord community for all you film fans. Share your hot takes, ask questions, and hang out with us and fellow listeners. The invite is in our link tree.
And coming up next, episode 218, where we will be reviewing Wuthering Heights.
Thank you for listening. This is the Movie Pals signing out.